That's really good to know. And I hope the audience is really getting this, that despite the fact that you've got a number of other professionals involved, you're still, from a cost benefit analysis, you're still going to be ahead of the game if you consider this route. So Carrie, who's your ideal client? Who are the people that you typically serve?
So we work with anyone who's going through a divorce, but I would say that commonly what we're seeing most often are families, two working parents between 30 and 50 years old, 2 to 4 children. You know, that's our sweet spot. That being said, we have been seeing an uptick in what we call gray divorce. People who have been married 20, 30, 40, almost 50 years. And so we also work with that population. And that's a different type of dynamic, different things we have to be considerate of.
I'm sure. And considering, you're right, because divorce is, in the estate planning world, it's one of those pivotal moments where you need to reconsider, retweak your estate plan. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Tell us about the training that's needed and any certifications needed to hold yourself out, one as a collaborative lawyer as well as a mediator.
So there is a training that is required for collaborative. It is a 40-hour basic collaborative training. We often also do advanced trainings. So I am currently the president of the Maryland Academy of Collaborative Professionals, and our group puts on trainings for statewide for professionals who are collaboratively trained, either the basic training as well as, lunch and learn programs and that sort of thing. As a mediator, to do court-appointed mediation, you also have to have a 40-hour basic mediation training. To do custody issues, you have to have a 20-hour custody and child support training. And then there's another one which is for financial and property division issues, which is another 20-hour training.
Wow. So it sounds like there's just constant, continual legal education that's required. And you really set yourself apart, Carrie, because you're not only doing it, but you also teach.
Correct. Well, so we put on different trainings, not necessarily myself only, but we have different panels. And I'm also part of a collaborative professional practice group. And so we are constantly having, speakers come to us and learning new information and learning from our other practice colleagues.
Carrie, in your practice, from all the cases that you've handled, are you noticing that as people become more aware of this, that there's that collaborative law is kind of on the rise?
I think so. I think it kind of comes and goes as a lot of things, but I do think that it is becoming more popular as people are trying to avoid the court process, especially now that there is such a delay in getting a resolution.
Indeed, indeed. So what would you say, some of the stumbling blocks that you've seen as a collaborative attorney from the client side? And then I'll follow up with you in a second with the stumbling blocks that you've had as a professional. But tell me what some of the challenges are that clients have as they're entering this collaborative process, because it sounds great, but.
So I think that it's just the resistance, as you mentioned earlier. When you start talking about all the professionals involved, it does sound like it's going to be, highly expensive. And so getting over that hurdle and recognizing that the value of what you walk away with is exponentially higher than the, solution or resolution you would get if you were in litigation. And the other, downside is, in that unfortunate event that an agreement can't be reached, then you're having to start over in litigation. And so there is that aspect that is unique to the collaborative process.
But but in order to, of course, try to avoid that, you do extensive screening, questioning on the front end. Absolutely. To make sure that you're setting people up for success, right?
Absolutely. Not every case is appropriate for collaborative. And so it's really making sure that the parties are focused on trying to reach a resolution that is child focused, that they are looking at the big picture, and that that's the process, and that their goals are in line with the collaborative process.